Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? BC, I'm streaming this on Facebook too, which I do every once in a while. Another episode of Supreme Being, the podcast. And I have a very important subject, as I normally do, to discuss today on the podcast. A few quick announcements like we always start. Distinguished Agent Summits tickets, right? Distinguished Agent Summit tickets will stop on Friday. So go ahead and go to briancasella.com and get your tickets. We're also streaming it live virtually. Everybody gets a recording. Would recommend you go in person, but grab your tickets while they're still available, okay? Anybody needs anything else, you can go to my website to find everything, briancasellacoaching.com. The conversation is the gateway to the promised land is what I named this podcast. And this is relevant now more than ever. Let me give you some examples. We'll discuss this in a day-to-day standpoint. We'll discuss it in a business standpoint, and really for you to see the potency of this, because this is senior to everything else you deal with. Because when I say conversation and communication, very quickly people think I'm not good enough, introvert, extrovert, and all the other garbage that's been spewed to people, right? Where they read it, gobble it up, label themselves as something, and then they just hinder themselves, right? But when you listen to this podcast, especially the way it's going to be discussed and analyzed and given to you and delivered, you'll see the importance of it, and you'll break through all the previous things I said or anything else that you're dealing with up here in your mind, okay? Think about this, right? Follow me through a typical day, or anybody through a typical day. Let's say there's you do not engage in communication throughout your day. This applies also to email, texting, calls, right? But let's say the spoken word. We'll leave it at that, the spoken word. I go to the store, I go to the gym, I go to my office, right? I don't talk to anybody. And let's compound this day after day after day after day. What happens? That individual is not going to have any friendships, no relationships, no business, nothing. Their existence will be an existence that's very mundane, very boring, very to themselves. Now, again, if this is somebody who chose a particular lifestyle, did a challenge of saying, hey, I'm not going to talk to anybody, and it was by choice, purposefully, like, hey, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm not going to talk to anybody for 2 weeks, right? Okay, that's somebody with direction. That's different. I'm just speaking in general, because this is most people, by the way. Right? Now, I'm taking it to an extreme, but you get where I'm coming from when I say this. Let's say it into now. Let's flip it and give the opposite. Like today, office, gym, right? Regular stuff. I'm saying hi to people. I'm talking to people. I'm building conversations, new friendships, new relationships, new potential business partnerships, right? All this stuff happens because I decide to communicate. Now, it all starts with the one initiating communication. Now, you can graduate to later on where you are so magnetic and so powerful as an individual that, yeah, you can't help but go anywhere and people talk to you. I'm to the point now where I can just show up to places. And again, this is only due to the work that I've put in. This isn't because I'm tall or any of the stuff that people will say, well, Brian, you're good looking, or all this other bullshit, right? Which matters, yes, but not as much as you think. It's because I've worked on myself. It's what's on the inside that just oozes out of me. That's what it is that causes people to talk to me and approach me, and all these opportunities fall in my lap. It's because of the years that I've busted my ass, initiating communication, starting conversations, approaching men, women, everybody. I've built myself up brick by brick. I've used iron to sharpen the iron, which is me, over and over, right? All those cliche fucking sayings that you hear. That's what I did. So now I'm granted, in quotes, the reward of not having to. Now, I still do it at a high level. Everywhere I go, people know me because I communicate. I'm comfortable being silent or communicating or anything in between, but I've already played the side of over communicating, making my presence known. I've already done that to the highest degree, whether it's businesses, whether it's everyday stuff, the gym, my office, where I live, everything. Now, do you do that? Because that's the gateway to the promised land. That's what's gotten me riches, friendships, relationships, attention, connections, experiences. I mean, whatever you want to label it. That has been the gateway because it led to the next thing. It all started with conversation and initiation of communication. That's what it is, right? So let's break this thing down. You're a salesperson following me, entrepreneur, real estate person. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you have. Point blank. The more conversations you have, the better you get at those conversations. And the more you have, the faster that's going to be. Now you upgrade it. You hire somebody like me to help you and make you that much better. You're going to accelerate that process even more and get better, right? So there's varying degrees of this thing. But even you with you just engaging in this thing, you're already going to be better off than if you didn't. But understand, like, this literally will force people, 99% of people or more, to go outside of what they know and love. Because we're so used to the mundane existence of not acknowledging people and putting our head down in surface level conversation and not talking to people, not acknowledging to people. Do the opposite, man. I'm naming this the promised land because the promised land for each and every one of you listening to this is something different. I guarantee you a lot of you listening to me are men who are seeking partnership with the woman and attention. Well, it's on you to initiate communication with women. That's just a dynamic. Don't blame me, blame God or whatever you believe in. You're going to have to initiate the communication. Go out there and talk to girls if that's what you want. Ladies, same thing. Talk to men if you're interested in them and you're seeking a relationship or a partnership or even friendship. If you guys want more friends, you have to talk to people, dude. If there's somebody who seems interesting to you, go talk to them, initiate a conversation. And if it's a regular place that you see them, like the gym, just start with, hey, what's up? And then walk by them, right? After 2 or 3 times of that, you'll kind of know each other now and you can take the conversation to the next level. See, now you can study and get technique. This is where I can come in or someone can come in and help you. But initiate the communication, man. Start. Message somebody online, right? Shoot them a video, send them a video, reach out to people, type. I mean, fuck. I'm focusing on in person because that's where I want you to go. I don't want you to default just being behind the computer or your fucking phone. But man, go talk to people. If there's places you go to, start with the places you go to all the time. Get to know the cashiers and the managers and the people that work there. Please start with that. They already know you. You're a familiar face. It's going to be easier. Your dentist, your chiropractor, like people that you see every week, every month, every day. Start with them. You don't know where it's going to go. What if you guys end up having a good friendship and a future joint venture turns into something in the future with real estate, or they have a great idea, or you can help them with something, or, you know, like I've met people who ended up being able to help me, like, you know, play the piano, or, you know, they knew somebody else that eventually turned into, right, something incredible, right? Like a future friendship or something like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. You don't know where that's going to lead you, but it starts with the conversation, yo. You have to start from there. Now, because this is so out of people's reality and comfort zone, this becomes difficult because now you feel like you're being something fake. No, you're not. We're social creatures by default, right? When you're a kid, you weren't shy. Even if you're a quiet kid, you never hesitated to talk to another kid or another person, even if you stayed to yourself. There was no fear there. Now there's a fear because you don't do it. And this is the key. It's not that you don't do it, is you identify, right? Your identity, the deepest, darkest parts of your soul and your subconscious mind identifies with that. I'm an introvert, or fill in the blank with whatever garbage we tell ourselves and sell ourselves. And then that person will argue, oh, well, it's science and this and that. It's like, dude, shut up. Why are you arguing your disease to me? Your perceived disease or limitation. Well, it's not a limitation. Okay. But if it stops you from doing what I'm recommending and you would like to try it and you would like a more richer experience of life, why are you defending it? Right? All I'm doing is offering you a solution or the key to the promised land, something better. Something that I can say at the very least, I'm speaking to you from a position of being there. Not that I'm better or worse or anything else. It's just, this is what you need to try. Try it out. Give it a shot. And watch what happens. You no doubt will enjoy it. It'll build something within you. It'll activate something within you that will leave you better off than before. That I can guarantee you on a minimum. Because at the very least, there's a lot of things I can do. One, my mood is always heightened. I always feel comfortable and happy and relaxed. Number two, people I come across, they get a piece of that. And the people that I talk to, regardless if it's sales or non-sales or men or women, they leave the conversation better off than before. I make people smile. I give them good conversation. I know I do that for sure, whether it's at the gym, the store, in the office, prospects, it doesn't matter. Online, messages, voice messages, it doesn't matter. I'm sprinkling a little bit of goodness and cheer on everybody's world. Is that not a good thing? Don't you think that's going to rub off on you too when you're doing it for other people? Don't you think that would make the world a better place? Right? But people get caught up in the, well, you have this macho, aggressive, ultra try to want to be alpha male attitude. It's like, yeah, bro, I'm strong in my position. I'm a fucking beast for sure. But that doesn't mean my conversations are all, no, dude, I'm smooth when it comes to conversation, right? Very smooth. But again, I've earned that. Think about the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Imagine him being Shakespearean in his delivery, if he can. If he has that potential, that makes him a fucking well-rounded individual. Physically, fucking just daunting and a beast. But intelligence-wise, communication-wise, silky fucking smooth. Smooth as a silk blanket, man. That's what you want. You want to be well-rounded, but this communication aspect is just overlooked by people. No, it's not just fucking sales. That's a branch of communication because it pertains to persuasion and influence. That's only one piece. And then people will try to condense it. Well, it's just NLP and this. That, again, that's one branch of it, right? But you guys have to be able to see beyond some of these labels and constructs because communication goes way beyond it. That's why I love teaching it, because a lot of people coming in, like when they become my students, they think they know. And then it's like we open up this whole new world to them. They're like, oh, shit, I thought I knew a lot. I don't. And I'm still fucking learning too. But man, it requires something. Like you literally will have to transform because it starts internally. Remember, one of the laws and rules of communication is we're responsible for our communication and we are the initiators of communication. We never sit back and wait. We create, right? That's a new quote you can use for me. We don't, or I don't sit back and wait. I create, meaning you initiate. You initiate, right? Now you become the creator of your own circumstances, the designer of your own world, and the designer of your own experiences because you're in charge. That assumes responsibility when you say, I create. You see, that's the beauty in these things. Everything that I give you has a presupposition of something that is attached to power and strength and evolution and progression, which is exactly what you want, right? I keep installing, upgrading, and refining this technology. Luckily, we have a medium of podcasts and programs and all this stuff to be able to give it to you guys. So you can listen. As I learn, I document now and I teach. It's cool. But I'm speaking from the perspective of having been doing this for years and refined it and keep doing it. And I keep, like, it's amazing, right? Like I go back and tell people, look, a little over a year and a half ago, almost now, I moved across the country. And the crutch for a lot of people there would be, man, I have to start over socially. I'm not going to have any friends. Like that wasn't even on my mind because of what I've handled and who I've become. Where for 99% of people, that would be the poison that would stop them from moving and granting themselves this experience. Now that wasn't, there's for many reasons I moved, but I wasn't even worried about that. Like that wasn't even a thought. I know anywhere I move, I can have a thriving social circle of 100 people if I want within a week or less. I have control over that. And it's cool to say that honestly and wholeheartedly. I have control over the amount of relationships I have, friendships, all that stuff. I'm under control. I have a choice. I'm not just a victim of circumstances like most people are when it comes to it, right? Like their relationships, men and women, they rely on their social circles and stuff because they don't have the balls or the gall to go out and talk to strangers and create new relationships. They have the potential, they just don't do it and they don't have the skill. That same thing can be paralleled with your business, right? Especially if you follow me. I preach that you're going to have to go out and make it happen. That means talking to strangers and confronting these fears and insecurities. Facing your inner demons and insecurities and all the things that you've been running away from your whole life, which causes this fear and insecurity because there's certain things you haven't handled, right? And again, people get upset. Oh, well, you're saying it's a problem. It's like, dude, who cares if I'm saying it's a problem or not? All I'm saying is it limits your experience because you don't like that feeling. You don't like being in that position. Nobody likes being in a position of not having choice. Ask anybody, would you rather have a choice or not a choice? What are they going to say? No, I want a choice. Who wants to be in a position of not having a choice? That's all I'm saying here. Think of it from that perspective so you can understand and you stop attacking me or this idea because some people do, right? Every once in a while, I'll rifle through the comment section of my YouTube and I'll see comments from 6 months ago, a year ago, and I'm just like, oh my God, these people are so resistant to the idea. They just, like what I said in the video just flew over their head because they got triggered. They got on their emotions and they stopped listening. Or their inability now to listen is present because they're so triggered emotionally. I'm not attacking you. Think of it as I'm giving you a suggestion. Try this out for a week and let me know and report back. And you tell me if it's worth your time or not. You tell me if this brought to the forefront some things you wanted to work on or some things that became very apparent to you after the fact to say, hey, okay, yes, I would like to improve this. I don't like this, et cetera, et cetera. Because that's what this is about. Improvement, evolution, progress. Because everything I do, even if it seems like I'm calling people out, the whole premise of it is improvement and helping you. It always has been and always will be, regardless of how it's packaged up. Even if I go on YouTube and give a rant like I did recently about all that craziness, the pronouns and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a rant, but behind it is, please use your logic and reason and stand up against things that you don't believe in. You will be surprised what you're capable of when you start opening your mouth and communicating with people. You'll be surprised how receptive people are and how open they are to your communication. You'll be surprised how quickly your confidence will build, your social savvy, the amount of people that you know, the connections that you have, the pull that you have locally, nationally, internationally. I mean, it's just insane. And social media and all that is an extension of it. If you get comfortable socially in your real world, making videos and posting online will be second nature to you. You won't even think about it or be worried about it. I mean, the first one handles the second one and blows all that stuff out of the water. That's why I'm recommending it to you. But you got to start the conversations. You already have a lot of conversations with yourself, and I guarantee you a lot of them aren't good because you talk down to yourself. Fix those and work on those. But simultaneously, say, hey, I'm going to start talking to my neighbors. I'm going to start saying hi to people when I'm out. Like, start, man. Start. Conversation. Hey, how's it going? Hey, you know what? I tell people, I challenge myself to talk to 5 new people today. What's up? I got about a minute. What's going on? You never know what's going to happen. Even if somebody says, fuck off, weirdo, move on to the next person. Who cares? You're going to expose yourself to potentials that you've never exposed yourself to, which means positive and negative. We live in a universe of possibilities. That means it could be good, bad, or anything in between. Accept it. This is how you get better. You expose yourself to new things and new elements and new potentials and new possibilities. But if you keep staying in your bubble doing what you're doing and not extending beyond what you're doing, your circumstances, your evolution and all that will not change. It'll remain the same. And if it remains the same, you're going backwards. You're deteriorating. You're not improving. You're worsening over time. So see this as a building block and mechanism for yourself. Think of this as like going to the gym every day or whatever you enjoy to do that builds you up. Meeting with certain people, going to the gym, eating healthy. I mean, whatever it is, your cold showers, whatever it is that you do. Add this in as one of those ritualistic things that you do. Now, if you listen to me and you implement a lot of what I say, this is going to be right up your alley. Now, maybe it's a time for you to step it up a little bit more. If you're talking to strangers every day, step it up. Maybe do it more often. Maybe talk to more people every day. Maybe up the level of conversation that you're having. Maybe turn more of those random conversations into real connections more often, right? Up the ante for yourself. Stretch the limit. Because after you do that for a while, your normal existence becomes so cool and fun that you won't have to put in any effort anymore, and you're doing a million times more than everybody else. I really feel like I'm getting to that point where what's so normal to me is like far-fetched for other people. And that's really cool. All that is a result of me pushing myself for so long that now, even if I, in quotes, do not try, it's still so much more than other people are doing that it seems crazy or impossible or out of the ordinary, extraordinary, or whatever you want to call it, right? Cool. All right, guys. The conversation is a gateway to the promised land. Remember that. That's your homework. Check in with me, okay? So that's it for this one. Get your Distinguished Agent Summit tickets at briancasella.com. The other links are in the description. If you guys want to check out my products and courses, briancasellacoaching.com. You can schedule your strategy call if you have more questions about anything. Get on our Discord, and you can also get on our email list because we have exclusive bonuses to our email list. All right, that's it for this one, guys. We'll see you. Peace.